at the JWN Anthony Spaulding Sports Complex at 8 p.m.
Nurturing businesses with support and services to help them grow and bloom. The Time by Sagicor Bank is 7 o'clock.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, brace for more rain, flash flood watch issued. Island-wide blackout fuels calls for solar-powered backup systems. Too much rum, health minister sounds alarm over alcohol abuse among Jamaicans. We want answers. Jonestown residents question police shooting. In Small Bay's Big Dreams, a St. Andrew entrepreneur is stirring up a dream. And in sports, finalists gear up for final of inaugural Popeyes Challenge Cup tomorrow. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Monday, June 8, 2026. I'm Nika Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us. There's a call this evening for policymakers and utility providers to invest in solar technology following Friday night's all-island blackout. The power outage also left thousands of Jamaicans without piped water for days, a situation critics argue could have been avoided. Amoy Harriet has more.
While the island was plunged into darkness Friday night, social media was anything but. Jamaicans flooded platforms like TikTok with reactions, some humorous, others far less amused.
I need a light, JPS, I need a light. JPS is Jamaica people stress. We don't stress, we.
Then, for many, one outage quickly turned into two.
PN is when you are beard and light go away. And because light go away, water go away too. Once light go away, water go away too.
And it's that double blow, some critics say, that exposed a deeper problem. In a statement on Sunday, opposition spokesperson on water and Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Western, Ian Hales, blamed the incident on what he says is the government's failure to switch to solar technology. The statement says the treatment plants operated by the National Water Commission remain, quote, dangerously dependent on the Jamaica Public Service grid. He notes the government's failure to switch is not merely an oversight, but a governance crisis that threatens public health, tourism, and the daily lives of citizens in heavily populated communities nationwide.
What Friday did was, reminded us that we need to be in a state of readiness for anything.
Richard Wallace is a business operator and chairman of the Negril Tourism Destination Council. He says he's in agreement with Mr. Hales.
We need to be sustainable as much as we can, and we cannot be solely dependent on JPS. And with solar technology where it is today, we need to explore that more. We need to utilize that, and not just from a security standpoint in terms of having water supply constantly, but from a cost as well, because solar tend to be way cheaper than paying these huge electricity bills that I understand the National Water Commission is paying to JPS. And so from that aspect, maybe we all can get a reduction in our water bills if they were to go solar.
In the meantime, the Consumers Intervention of Jamaica says Friday night's blackout has exposed a critical weakness in the country's infrastructure, one that requires urgent attention, particularly as Jamaica is now in the hurricane season. Michael Diamond is the CEO.
Consumers pay for electricity and water, Basically, we pay for reliable electricity and water. When the grid fails and water stops for 65,000 people or more, that's a service failure. And all this advocacy means nothing if we're not pushing JPS and the National Water Commission and even OUR past the restoration updates to real resilience, backup power, and faster communication.
Now, up to news time, both the Jamaica Public Service Company and National Water Commission say all customers have now been fully restored. Amoy Harriet, CVM News.
In the meantime, Energy Minister Darrell Vaz says he's still awaiting a full report from JPS on what triggered Friday night's island-wide outage. He notes that with the utility's license set to expire in 2027, there's no guarantee it will be renewed. Speaking moments ago on CVM's Lead Story with host Tyrone Reed, the minister also pointed to expected changes in the regulatory framework and the operations of the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR.
This was not as the conspirators are trying to make it out to be a cyber attack or some other conspiracy. This is just a straight failure and breakdown of the grid at JPS. There's a lot of talk about a new electricity license that JPS may want to participate in. It is not a given that JPS will be the beneficiary of a new license. And I want to make it also very clear that in a new license will come a whole revamp of the OUR, legislation, regulation, structure, everything to be able to give the protection to the consumers rather than the licensee, which is what has taken place over the last many years from the first license was issued.
That would be a major change, Minister, to have the OUR focus on customers and not necessarily licensee. That would be a major shift.
Before, a new license with the same oversight would work. We need a full revamp of the entire license and the oversight.
So change is coming for the OUR as well. That's what we're hearing from you.
Change is coming for the OUR. Change is coming for the legislation of the OUR, the structure of the OUR, and the reporting mechanism of the OUR. And hopefully, if all goes well, the minister will have more direct input. This was not as a.
Investigators assigned to the Jamaica Fire Brigade are yet to establish the cause of the fire that broke out Friday night at the Jamaica Defence Force headquarters at Up Park Camp in Kingston. When contacted by CVM News today, Commissioner of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Stuart Beckford, told our news centre that the investigation into the blaze at the Army headquarters is still underway, adding that the assigned investigators are working to finalise the case. On Friday night, before the all-island power outage, it was confirmed that there was a fire at Up Park Camp. Heavy smoke was seen billowing into the air, indicating a major blaze. Several videos were posted to social media showing the fiery scenes at the Army base. Residents of Jonestown are demanding answers after the fatal police shooting of 24-year-old Alexander Marsh. The incident sparked protests and roadblocks on Monday. Giovanni Hamilton reports.
Anger spilled onto the streets of Jonestown on Monday, June 8, as residents blocked roadways and demanded answers following the fatal police shooting of 24-year-old Alexander March. To those who knew him, March was no criminal. Residents insist he was innocent and unarmed when his life was cut short on Sunday.
A church meeting and the pastor come when I put somebody in the church complex. I said somebody dead round the road. So when we reach at the corner, them see a chocobo. They say why chocobo? Them kill Ikobo innocent. A cold-blooded murder that them they get nothing for the boy. Let me say God. Me not tell them for nobody. Them wicked God.
The way them take him up so quick, them not even talk what happened. And then them go down a public and tell the security say anyone that family member them come, them not let him in, them not let them in for come look for him. They must wait till a man and them got tranquility.
As tensions grew, Commanding Officer for the Western Kingston Police Division, Superintendent Brian Henry, provided the police's account of the incident.
Somewhere around 8:40 p.m., members of the Kingston Western Division Operational Support Team were conducting patrols in the Admiral Town section of the division. They were traveling along Penn Street when they reportedly saw a man who, upon the approach of the police, he started behaving in a manner which aroused their suspicion and ran into a yard. Members of the patrol team pursued this man into the yard where, upon entering, he reportedly pointed a submachine gun at them. The police, in fear of their lives, fired at this man. Consequently, the man was shot and injured, and a submachine gun was retrieved from him, along with 3 9mm cartridges. There's an active investigation being undertaken by the Independent Commission of Investigation, as also our internal Inspectorate of Professional Standards and Oversight Bureaus.
Behind the protests and the pleas for justice is a family now forced to grapple with the loss of the life of a loved one. A father...
You kill me, you're supposed to come out to the gun, because you kill me that gun, no. You kill me that gun as a officer. You're not supposed to come out in this bayan.
A father left in despair. For now, a community mourns. A family waits for answers, and questions continue to linger over the death of Alexander March. Reporting for CVM News, I am Giovanni Hamilton.
Meanwhile, the statement of a dead woman was admitted into evidence on Monday as presiding judge Justice Dale Palmer found that the criteria required under the Crown's application had been met. This in the ongoing Clansman gang trial. CVM's Carla Ramdeen was in court.
On Monday, the statement of the deceased Shanice Roberts was admitted into evidence. Roberts, who died in February 2021, recorded a statement before her death. The statement entails her account of the events that took place at Eureka Place in St. Andrew, which led to the murder of a man called Noah Smith. The presiding judge, Justice Dale Palmer, ruled that the criteria required under the 31D application had been met by the Crown. He explained that the prosecution had established that Shanice Roberts is deceased and that a sufficient nexus existed between the deceased and the person who provided the statement. In delivering his ruling, Justice Palmer noted that the first witness identified a photograph of Shanice Roberts and informed the court that she was deceased. He also pointed to the evidence of a detective who testified that he encountered a Shanice Roberts at Eureka Place and obtained a statement from her. The judge said the evidence established beyond a reasonable doubt that the deceased Shanice Roberts and the individual who gave the statement were the same person. Justice Palmer further ruled that the issues raised by the defense regarding differences in the spelling of the name as well as references to gender were matters that go to the weight of the evidence and not its admissibility. The judge added that he did not believe this was an appropriate case in which the court's statutory or discretionary power should be exercised to exclude it. Justice Palmer also noted that several safeguards remain available. He explained that if circumstances arose or evidence is led suggesting that the statement was not given voluntarily, the court could revisit its decision. He also pointed to the defense's remedies, which allow them to challenge the credibility and reliability of the statement and the witnesses connected to it. The judge further stated that if evidence emerges showing that the admission of the statement would cause prejudice, the defense may make the appropriate application for the court to reconsider its ruling. The statement will be read into evidence once the necessary redactions have been completed. The evidence goes towards counts 15 and 16 of the indictment. The men on trial for knowingly facilitating the commission of robbery and murder of Noah Smith are the accused Michael Wildman, Jerome Spike, Nashon Guest, and Giovanni MacDonald. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
You're watching CVM News at 7. More in just a moment.
using Link. Link Virtual Card. Sign up for Link from your app store. Select cards to activate your virtual card. And start shopping.
Before the first patty is made, there are hands that raise it, hands that grow it, hands that move it, hands that bake it, and hands that serve it. For Jamaica, by Jamaica. Through challenges and changing seasons, they stood strong. They built with us. They believed. To every farmer, every team member, every partner, thank you.
Lasco Food Drink is everything you need to support your family's nutrition. Have it at home or take it with you every day for all-day energy. Lasco Food Drink has your favorite flavors, including low-sugar options so you sacrifice nothing. Packed with protein, calcium, vitamins, minerals, including iron. Lasco Food Drink is the winning taste and nutrition for your family. Nutrition never tasted so good.
Also try Lasco Soy as a lactose-free alternative.
Thanks so much for staying with us. The Meteorological Service of Jamaica has issued a flash flood watch in effect until 5 p.m. Wednesday as unstable weather conditions continue across the island. An active tropical wave and upper-level trough are driving heavy rains with low-lying and flood-prone areas in Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Thomas, St. Catherine, Kingston and St. Andrew at risk. Meteorologists urge extreme caution as the nation braces for worsening conditions. Natasha Williams reports.
With the past few days being lashed with thunderstorm rainfall and strong winds resulting in an island-wide blackout, meteorologists warn the nation to expect more.
We are having a surface trough that has been affecting us since Saturday, and it's likely to be with us until tomorrow or the latest on Wednesday, when we expect some clearing.
With June 1 marking the start of the Atlantic hurricane season, Mr. Brown underscores this severe change in the weather was expected. He says this is called the perennial trough and occurs most year between the end of May and the middle of June. However, he notes that due to the El Niño phenomenon, there will likely be a decrease in the number of hurricanes that could potentially develop this year.
The reason for this is that over the Caribbean and most of the Atlantic, there's a stronger winds in the upper levels, which results in a diminished number. But this is not to say that we won't or can't get a hurricane. It's just that the frequency will be reduced. And as we all know, it only takes one to pass near us or over us to wreak havoc on the country.
However, with some in western Jamaica still without roofs, their unfortunate misery might worsen as meteorologist Javoy Sawyers warns the nation to remain on high alert for a hurricane.
Those persons recovering from Melissa will not be receiving this kind of weather very well, especially if they're not found adequate shelter and have themselves organized. It's very unfortunate, but we're now in the hurricane season, and we're hoping that everyone will get the best chance to be prepared.
We should, being in the Caribbean region, expect the potential for a hurricane or a tropical storm, or even enhanced south activity to affect us sometime during this hurricane season, June to November, and even beyond that. So not because it's the El Niño and respecting drier conditions, still be on the lookout and prepare for such activity.
The senior meteorologist notes that they are not seeing any development of a hurricane or storm at this time. Natasha Williams, CVM News.
There are renewed calls this evening for Jamaicans to cut back on excessive alcohol consumption. That appeal from Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, who raised concerns during the recent handover of the Bamboo Health Center in St. Anne, a parish he says has reported one of the highest rates of alcohol abuse. Amoy Harriet reports.
Alcohol remains the most commonly used substance in Jamaica. The National Household Survey found that about 77.4% of Jamaicans, that's roughly 8 in every 10 people, have consumed alcohol at some point in their lives. In parishes like St. Anne, the figures are even more sobering.
This parish has one of the highest rates of alcohol usage when compared to other parishes across Jamaica. This is a survey that the National Council on Drug Abuse puts out. And this one was done in 2023. 54.3% of respondents reporting alcohol consumption within the last 30 days. That's usage. But then in terms of abuse, the amount of time that they consume it, there's also a high percentage.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is sounding the alarm over what he describes as a clear link between alcohol abuse and a number of the major issues affecting the health sector.
One of the challenges that we face is that people don't make the connection between substance abuse and motor vehicle accident. They don't make the connection between substance abuse and domestic violence. They don't make the connection between substance abuse and someone can't get a bed down at St. Anne's Bay Hospital because the A&E full up. A lot of people who end up in the hospital wanting a bed should rightfully not be there in the first place if they did not engage in these kinds of behavior.
It's why he says the National Council on Drug Abuse will be intensifying efforts to crack down on substance abuse, starting with the School Vendor Intervention Program. Now, this program comes more than 2 years after roughly 60 students from the Ocho Rios Primary School were hospitalized after eating sweets containing cannabis which were sold to them by a school vendor.
They will have the right to go to any vendor outside the school gate and inspect. They can do it also by asking students who may have the gummy bears or whatever else, what they have. And they have the right to engage the appropriate authority to confiscate and even to make arrests if you are doing something illegal.
The minister went further.
We're also doing a major program around vaping because tobacco consumption is a problem. Too many of our students or young people have these devices that look like pencil and pen, and it has substances in them, marijuana, chemicals, and it is bad for you. And we want to encourage that the discontinuation of this. And the Council on Drug Abuse will also go into the schools. And for those who are distributing and selling them, particularly to minors, bear in mind that this is an offense. And the laws are going to come even stronger where you can be prosecuted in a significant way.
Amoy Harriet, CVM News.
The People's National Party's youth organization is accusing Young Jamaica of spreading misinformation about the status of opposition leader Mark Golding's 2024 statutory declaration. The group is calling for an immediate public apology, arguing that official records show the declaration had already been certified before Young Jamaica released its statement.
The certification by the Integrity Commission of Opposition Leader Mark Golding's 2024 Statutory Declaration was published in the Jamaica Gazette on May 26, 2026, more than a week before Young Jamaica's defamatory press release was issued. Even the most basic level of due diligence would have revealed the facts before Young Jamaica chose to issue its statement. The public is therefore entitled to ask whether this was simply negligence or a deliberate attempt to tarnish the reputation of the leader of the opposition. The certification.
Meanwhile, the youth arm of the People's National Party is also calling on the government to match its public commitments to fighting misinformation with action. It argues that the same level of scrutiny should be applied to all political leaders.
Mr. Golden has been certified annually since 2017. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has remained uncertified since 2021. They need to explain why their Prime Minister's statutory declarations remain uncertified. The youth of Jamaica deserve better. The country deserves better. An apology and correction of the record are not only warranted, they are necessary.
Councillor for the Beechertown Division in St. Anne, Ian Trumpet Bell, in endorsing Wayne Tate, hinted at what could be seen as the clearest indication yet that he may be heading on a new political quest in short order. Bell assured supporters in St. Anne that his track record is untainted, adding he's committed to success no matter where he's placed.
I have the third largest majority in the Central Municipal Corporation at this time. And the man that comes second on the people by 2, and the one that comes first on the people by 90. I am a performer, and anywhere I go, Trumpet will perform.
He was speaking at the St. Anne's Bay Divisional Conference held on Sunday. Meanwhile, a caterer based in Kingston says she's reaching a breaking point as she struggles with severe health complications that have left her barely able to move or work. She's now appealing for assistance as she continues to endure what she describes as relentless day-to-day pain. Our reporter Kevin Black spoke with her for this report.
A Kingston woman battling multiple serious health conditions is making a desperate appeal for help. 60-year-old Paula Ming says years of illness have left her in constant pain and in urgent need of a total knee replacement.
It started with a brain aneurysm, and then I found out that I have a kidney disease called focal glomerulosclerosis with nephrotic syndrome. I was born with one kidney, a solitary kidney in my pelvic. I'm at stage 4. My disease does not regress, it only progresses. I am just in constant pain, crying at times, just hoping and praying that the pain would just stop even for couple minutes.
Ming suffers from stage 4 kidney disease, an autoimmune condition, and a history of recurring blood clots. She says the deterioration of her left knee has made daily life almost impossible and is also impacting her remaining kidney.
My knee is affecting my kidney because when you're in severe pain, your blood pressure tends to soar. And your blood pressure helps to damage your kidney. No one should go through anything like this. No one should feel pain like this.
The required surgery and artificial joint are expected to cost more than $2 million, an amount she says is out of reach for her family. Ming, who works as a caterer, the pain has also limited her ability to earn an income.
I cannot manage to do what I love to do. The pain is very extreme, and trying to get the orders together to send, because I deliver to business places and so forth, is very hard. So I'm asking the public, I'm pleading with you to please help me. Help me to get rid of this pain. Help me, please. My phone number is 560-7591. That is 560-7591.
Ming is appealing to the public for assistance as she continues her efforts to raise the funds for the life-changing procedure. I am Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
More CVM News at 7 in just a moment.
taste of a KFC big deal. The time by KFC is
7:30.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Lasco Food Drink is everything you need to support your family's nutrition. Have it at home or take it with you every day for all-day energy. Lasco Food Drink has your favorite flavors, including low-sugar options so you sacrifice nothing. Packed with protein, calcium, vitamins, minerals, including iron. Lasco Food Drink is the winning taste and nutrition for your family. Nutrition never tasted so good.
Also try Lasco Soy as a lactose-free alternative.
Already have a T-tag for your vehicle? Just top it up and go through. You can now conveniently add funds to your T-tag on WhatsApp. Just save our T-tag WhatsApp number 876-355-3336 and send us a message when you want to top up. Top up your T-tag and continue to go through quicker and cheaper on Transjam highways.
Welcome back. A St. Andrew entrepreneur is proving that hustle doesn't stop with just one job. From Monday to Friday, she's a hairstylist. But on weekends, she's pulling in customers with hot soup, jerk chicken, and fritters through her business, Chin's Kitchen. Our reporter Kevin Black has her story in this week's edition of Small Biz, Big Dreams.
This time on Small Biz, Big Dreams, we flew the coop to meet someone who brews the soup. This is Small Biz, Big Dreams. Charlotte Anderson started Chin's Kitchen in January this year along Whitehall Avenue in St. Andrew. The business offers jerk chicken, soup, fritters, festival, and porridge. A move she says came from a simple decision to take a chance on herself.
I was at the bar with my sister and I said, I need to start a business, and I just say, you know what, I'm going to start jerk chicken and soup since nobody do it on the Whitehall. Yes. And I just get up one week and just buy the things and start. It was amazing. And I come from the community, so most people come and support me because of that. Vehicle pass by soup, by chicken, because as I said, no one on the stretch do it.
During the week, Charlotte works as a hairdresser, but on weekends she transforms into a food vendor, building her business one step at a time. She says even without having all the necessary equipment at the start, she remained determined to make it work.
I didn't have nothing, no jerk pan, no nothing. I just said, I'm going to start and borrow a pan, and I went to the man and I just said, hello, I'm going to buy the pan, and he just sell me the pan. I'm just start by table, tent, everything. It tastes good, good quality, good customer service. Everything is right. It's rich. It's having peanut, peas, corn, dumpling, cow skin, chicken foot and beef, Irish carrot and everything. It's very rich. In the early hours, I put on like 2, 3 or 4, so I don't want it to stay on the pan and dry out, so that customer could complain. So like when it touched down like 5, 6 o'clock, I would put on more and sprinkle the beer on it as well.
Charlotte says community support has helped keep the business going, with customers stopping along the stretch for her soup and jerk chicken. She's encouraging other aspiring entrepreneurs to stay consistent and trust the process.
Just take it on. It's not easy. You won't see the outcome when you just start, but by continue, it will work out. It will come out. You have to come out every week. You can't come out this week, stop next week. No, you have to be consistent with what you're doing. I'm located at 34 Whitehall Avenue, so you can come and buy. Contact Chin's Touch of Beauty or Chin Kingdom on Instagram, and on TikTok Chin's touch of beauty.
Next week, we continue our quest to give small businesses an avenue for success.
But until then, for small biz, big dreams, I'm Kevin Black.
Here's Michael Paul with what's trending on social media.
What's catching the waves online today? Jamaicans were left reeling on Friday night after an island-wide blackout plunged all 14 parishes into darkness. The dramatic outage came on the same night a fire broke out at the Jamaica Defence Force headquarters in St. Andrew, fueling concern and speculation online. Now, while JPS continues to investigate the cause of the blackout, early reports suggest significant lightning activity in the corporate area may have been a factor. Now, you and I know Jamaicans had a lot to say. Let's hear some of your reactions. At Marsha_Melon comments, did we run out of fuel? At Den_Keezy comments, when I said 4,000 soldiers coming off of that US battleship was an invasion, I'm starting to believe that even more now. Cause JDF burning down and an island-wide blackout? Come on. At Helsin_ comments, so is CM night the warship a cut? All of this ham? Plus fire at JDF headquarters? Funny. At Savage_Smith Legacy says, the mosquitoes them nearly draw me away. At the Tropics CH Shakes JA_ comments, imagine if this happens during the World Cup. And that's what's happening online today. Continue to share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV and CVM_television on Instagram and Facebook. I'm Michael Parr.
We now turn to regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. One of the major roadways in Barbados could be expanded as their government is considering increasing the number of lanes on Highway 2A from 2 to 4. That's according to Senior Minister and Minister of Transport and Works, Kirk Humphrey. CBC Barbados tells us more.
There's been a lot of work done along this road. We've already had Mr. Lockhart, whose company has already done some work with a lot of these bridges. So we actually have existing information on a number of the bridges. So even the work that we had, which had looked at 2 lanes, we now have to review to be able to go to 4 lanes. Major concern would have been the integrity of the bridges. And so we're just making sure the bridges, first of all, could accommodate the space in the areas that are tight, and that the existing structure could possibly, with some repair, be able to accommodate the traffic that we foresee.
Moving on to news outside the Caribbean as tensions are escalating along the border between Bangladesh and India. India is accused of expelling thousands of people across the border, while New Delhi maintains its deportation of illegal migrants. More from Al Jazeera.
Some were born in India but have no official papers to prove it. Others are undocumented Bangladeshi migrants afraid of detention or deportation. Dhaka also accuses India's border security force of erecting new barbed wire on the disputed land near the boundary, which it says violates bilateral border agreements. India denies the expulsion allegations, saying all deportations are carried out through due legal process, and argues the tighter border enforcement and fencing are necessary to curb undocumented migration and cross-border crime.
Meanwhile, Iran says it has ended its military operations against Israel following the